You ever have one of those days where you bump into old acquaintances or friends who you haven't seen in a while, or just out of the blue they appear in your day? There are no coincidences. Funny, an undercover lady who works with a joint task force that I know, who I haven't seen in a year, just magically resurfaced on this platform about 13 minutes ago or so, in the last 20 minutes for sure. And we talked for about five minutes. And as she normally does in her CIA fashion, she just magically disappeared. And said she would be back shortly, but wouldn't pin a time. And if I was here, we would reconnect and continue our conversation. One of many coincidences today. The second or third CIA person I bumped into today alone. Or another federal employee, we won't say from which agency, old friend who has had my back since the day I met him, probably as well as my dear friend and partner in business for my brother from another mother. He has been better family to me than, and so is Larry, than most family members ever thought of being. Isn't it funny how you find kindred spirits through life, and some of your worst rivals or enemies can be your own family, or the country you live in or work for. I grew up with immense respect for others and was taught integrity and honesty and value and trust, and always saying only the things you could deliver, never over-promising. Better to understate and over-deliver than over-promise and look like a douchebag. That's not really the way Mom put it. That's me paraphrasing nearly 60 years later. Bless her soul, my mom was a genius. She was a broken woman in her marriage. It was a very dysfunctional childhood. I was made to grow up exceedingly early to be the other adult, to take care of the kids. My older brother, who was handicapped. No freaking reason why. I mean, geez, he had epilepsy, and they did electroshock therapy on him in the 60s, and I had to watch it as a kid in hospitals where they put a bite plate in and fry his brain beyond recognition. Not something that is really good for the brain. I don't give a shit what neuroscience says. Having been electrocuted more than once in my life, everything from barbed wire fences to short circuits in wiring to other people trying to garner information, I know what electrifying experiences can be like. Fortunately, I didn't ever have to go through electroshock therapy like that, because if I had come out of it, I'd probably want to kick somebody's ass really bad. There are certain boundaries that I've always had, and there are certain things that if you do to me, all humanitarian gloves will hit the floor and I'll knock you into a body bag, because I just won't tolerate certain things from anyone. And it's kind of gotten that way with my country. As much as I've always been a patriot and have served my country around the world on diplomatic missions, humanitarian missions, observer and intel information missions that I've been put on, where other tasks that I've been set to domestically and foreign by our government. As a contractor, I have never been an employee, so I'm not government property in that regard, although they sure treat me like it and certainly would like to have me be government property, starting from childhood. And the tales that I've told about the FBI or CIA or diplomatic security services, protective intelligence investigations, Interpol, or others are all factually true, despite what my government might want you to believe. See, intelligence, intel, is the business of keeping them thinking it's everyone but us. It's reverse information. It's done intentionally to keep the finger pointing everywhere but where it should. Unless, of course, we're kicking ass and winning, and then we'll take all credit for it, or it's a covert operation, and we don't want you to know, we don't want you to help them, or infiltrate your street with drugs and paraphernalia and other electronic surveillance or chemtrails or things that would make people go neurotically nuts or insane to riot against you. Of course we do. We're America. What the fuck we want. Tragically. What Kennedy's fought against. The abuse of power, the abuse of money, the abuse of privilege. That's not what your country can do for you. We're at a point now, fuck your country. Ask not what your world can do for you, but what you can do for your world make a difference, because we're at a fracture point. And for you dipshits who keep lying, you'll go to hell for that, for the proverbial hell for what it is. For those of you who keep lying and taking money to lie for Exxon and Mobil and all the other cartels in the oil industry, it's time the truth be told. Fossil fuel is destroying this planet. Toxins are destroying this planet. Artificial additives are destroying people and the planet. Synthetics, some have a good purpose. Use in moderation. Remember, whatever they're testing against that element itself. They didn't test LSD against Klonopin and Neurontin and, other things. In fact, when you were in the LSD project, I think it was mandatory, if memory serves me correctly, which it usually does. You were required not to be on any other medications, except I think marijuana was permissible. Herbs and alcohol were permissible, natural spirits in moderation. And isn't it funny what some people deem as moderation, others deem as excess? What you, who are making all those judgments, are wrong about is you don't know other people's tolerances, indulgences, and you're not a scientist. And even if the science is involved, doesn't know all the variables. There are so many variables. There are things you can take that will lessen the effects of any medications or drugs you take. And there are things that can intensify. Codeine with alcohol can be frickin' fatal. And, downers with too much alcohol. Short trip to the hospital for most, if not death. So it's all about your individual tolerance levels. And remember, you're a walking science project when you get on more than one medication at a time, because they're documenting it and charting it and collecting insurance for it and getting paid for it, but they're guessing. It's the art of guessing in medical science, in most Western medicine, because they really don't know what the cross effects will be with this versus that, unless there's been so many patients on it, enough cross studies done, which usually the back studies aren't done to the level they should be, even if they are done. Having worked very deeply in medical research and herbal research, as well as broadcasting and technology, I'm an expert at this stuff. You work 50 years in entertainment and rock and roll, you're around a lot of cultures. And for me to lie to the world and say, I haven't tried many drugs over the years would be a lie. And some of them were required by my government or part of what I agreed to do is testing for certain scientific breakthroughs. There are other medications or drugs that I wouldn't take if you held a gun to my head. I don't need to have a drool fest. I've never taken Seroquel or something of that nature, or what's the one they give for bipolar? Salts. Oh God, it's eluding me, and I know it. In fact, lithium, which they also make batteries out of. Isn't that interesting? You know, you can find 3 of the same ingredients in a Prestone antifreeze that is in Dr. Pepper and is in Sure Underguard deodorant, which ironically have been traced to also cause, from also drinking out of too many aluminum cans, Alzheimer's disease. There are so many things we know, and we kind of sweep them under a rug because of lobbies, backdoor hidden interest, because the pharmaceuticals aren't paid to heal you. They make money on getting you on as many frickin' pills as they can. Use your head, boys and girls. You're becoming sheeple. You're following the herd with the latest trends, the latest designs, the latest apps, but not the latest information or intel that could keep you alive. You're ignorant in most news, you're ignorant in a lot of sciences, and a lot of health matters, exercise, and well-being. Otherwise, America wouldn't be so fat, dumb, and stupid. We've fallen out of the top 10 and out of the top 100 in almost everything. We're not even in the top 20 for democracy. And allegedly, it was all said here. If this doesn't ring toll bells for America in most people's minds right now, it makes you want to get out and rock the motherfucking vote and get these dumb shits out of Congress and Senate who are taking your country right into the shithole with toxins and waste and elimination of EPA and big business running all over everyone. If you don't stand up and riot for peace, you're going to be in a war to stay alive. And they already have your termination date planned, 9/19/19. Whether you want to believe me or not, do your own homework. Google Georgia Guidestones. Google HAARP.net, HAARP.net. How about Plantex plant down in Amarillo, Texas, Plantech. Biggest missile defense plant in the world, and we make everything for everyone. As I learned from DOD in my second marriage to high-level intel, Lockheed Marietta, crypto, read and burn, Navy SEAL, Thomas L. Neitzel, when he locked in my invention network into DOD so everybody could backdoor whatever I was keystoking. I've had the government so deep up my ass between DOD and Department of Justice and FBI and CIA and Secret Service and Treasury and God knows everybody else, because of things I've invented, because of things I've created, because of information I've garnered by doing news and information and entertainment, by traveling in the right A-list, and by doing diplomatic and humanitarian stuff around the world. For those of you who think I've lost my marbles, I kindly say, go fuck yourself. Clearly you don't know me if you think I've lost my marbles. Do I look like a man who's lost marbles? I've lost a lot more than marbles. I've had fortunes taken away from me by my government, my ex-wives, by greedy fuckers, by most associates who have milked me for everything again, whether it was concert tickets, backstage passes, red carpet events, contacts, jobs, money, favors of any kind. People who know me well tell me I've given more than anybody on the planet and I should stop giving. I shouldn't give another dime. I've lost trillions, literally, due to my dysfunctional Uncle Sam and local and city and federal government. It's well documented. It's going to take a law from heaven to unravel all of this mess and this complication. There are those who would like me dead, the White House, people in foreign governments, and others for telling the truth. I'm still standing. And every time you fuckers have killed me or tried to kill me, isn't it funny that I just rise right back the fuck up within days, weeks, or months and show my head again? There's no irony to this. And by the time you see this, I won't even be at this location. Or will I? Where am I in the world? Evidently, Secret Service can't even find me, and they've been looking for me, and CIA can't find me, and they're looking for me, and FBI is looking for me now, too, according to texts I got last night. Everybody's looking for me, yet I keep seeing people from these agencies on a daily motherfucking basis. So they know how to find me if they really wanted to. So for those dipshits who keep telling me everybody's looking for me, or for those posers who are calling my family, friends, relatives, and others, and rolling up on people on the street who might know me and showing current photos that they could have pulled off any internet site that I put them on, saying that they're looking for me in my best interest, go fuck yourself. Obviously you're not, because you're doing a piss-poor fucking job. I've left more cookie crumbs on how to find me than a fucking Mary Poppins movie. So, kindly I say to the rest of the world, if you don't know me and you have time, do research, but you'd be smarter to research the topics I gave you. And also CERN, C-E-R-N, oh, the CIA mind control project. Oh, and how about the real Jason Bourne? And how about the Phoenix, F-E-N-I-X? And then maybe you'll help us with the concert for world peace, because you'll start to realize that I'm not full of shit, I'm not a lunatic. And I'm declaring a war for peace. And any assholes who want to stand in my way, take your best shot, you already have. You've sent KGB agents to fuck with me, CIA, FBI, and everybody else. Navy SEALs, Marines, local cops, sheriffs. I have bypassed U.S. Marshals. Come on. Either I'm completely full of shit, or I'm the motherfucker you should start listening to. Because the world is ending as you know it, whether you like it or not. Unless you pull your proverbial heads out of your ass and rise up against your corrupt governments around the world and ask what you can do for your world to save it, so we can coexist and figure out how to get into green technology, sustainable living, recycling, pure food, pure air, pure water, and get rid of all the horse shit. Unless you like to swallow a lot. This is not a joke, it's not a drill, it's a green light to get rid of and genocide most of planet Earth. They plan to cut population down to around 200 million, one world order, one government, one religion. If you don't like it, go fuck yourself. And I know some of you can't handle these words I'm using because it's so foul. No, it's not. It's something to wake you up. And you can thank the Catholic Church for it, Art Volo. Fuck, fornication under cardinal knowledge turned into a great, fun, fantastic word that you can use as an adjective, a pronoun. You can use it as an adjunct, and you can use it to go fuck yourself. For those who have slandered me in entertainment, Melissa English, Joel Denver, I can go down a long fucking list. You will have your day to reckon with me between now and the end of time. Soon your head on your ass and pick up the phone and call me, the better. Because if you wait until I drag this into a federal and international court, your odds of not spending the rest of your life behind bars are nil to do fuck yourself. I lobby all countries around the world who are not part of the Illuminati tribe of 14 who have decided to genocide most of the planet, to rise up in the UN and declare war crimes against the United States. My own country, yes. Against the current Congress and Senate, against the current president, and those in government who have not been acting in the best interest of the American Constitution. I ask for UN peacekeeping groups to come to the ground, and I ask that the country be restored to sanity with clean elections and new people put in place. And when you make a law, if you break the law, you serve the time for the crime just like I would. Just like you threatened me with years ago to force me to work with the FBI because I knew too much. Because I had already been in Central America in the CIA war. I had already covered wars and news and politics since childhood. Because I knew shit better than most people in journalism. Because I was exposed to it from birth. I knew how corrupt government was. As a child, I knew it was a lie when they said, okay, we need spin control on this. I knew immediately the lie was about to brew for a press release. Come on, wake up. Mommy's screaming from the other room in a satanic voice. Did you take a cookie from the cookie jar? And if you did, remember, you'll spend an eternity in hell. And I'm like jiggling the glass jar, nearly breaking it, putting the cookie back. And saying, yeah, I did, but I'm putting it back. I don't want it in hell. When it's ingrained deep from childhood, why lie? If there is the hell they all talk about, the proverbial hell, yeah, there is. Believe me, I've been there back many times, taking assholes there. Go finger. Maybe there's no irony. I'm the voice of God. I've been in technology, I've been in research and development, I've worked with NASA, JPL, worked on projects with UCLA, I have worked on projects with other universities around the world. I don't need to go down the list of credits. It's extensive. It's not even published a fraction of what the truth is. When you rarely sleep because you got a lifetime to get it right, to save as many lost souls as you can, or several lifetimes, depending on how many times he beat the shit out of you and try to kill you. When you've served life sentences in foreign prisons for your country for telling the truth. 3 in foreign prisons, not fun, I can tell you for fucking sure. When you've been up on life sentences in your own country on fraudulent bullshit people struck up against you just to set you up, to shut you up. And then they pled it all down to misdemeanors and made it go away. Well, but it could all pop back according to the State Department if I blow the whistle and tell the truth. Oh, go fuck yourself, David Nordalis. All the way to hell. Traverse City, Michigan? Really? Son, I don't know who put you up to that shit, if it was Kerry, Obama, and then Bush, and Tilson, but I can tell you the shit you threatened me with in those calls is gonna haunt you all the way to fucking hell, you asshole. And whoever gave you those orders, same to you. Is that crystal fucking clear for all of you how pissed I am? You push me around like a fucking puppet? And I'm cleared above all of you? Really? Who do you think's paying at the end of time for this, bitches? It's not going to be Kurt Kelly, Joseph Cronin, Edward James, or any of the other identities I hold around the world. I can bank on that one. Can you? Look into the whites of my eyes. Do you think I'm fucking around here, boys and girls? I have served my nation. I have served this world like nobody else has ever done, according to the White House and the State Department. And yet I still have been harassed more by my own government than the second coming of Christ. So to all of you, let me educate you. I'm from Michigan. I'm from right up here at the tip. Go finger. If you honestly think at the end of time you win this bitch, that's not how the story ends. And believe me, I know. I helped write the script. If you can channel the Akashic Records, you got a shot. A shot. But it's about your integrity and how you lived your life from infinity to infinity in each of your incarnations. And for you dumb shits who believe there's only a God, Allah, Jesus, Buddha, Christ, and all that other stuff, and my God's better than your God, get your head out of your ass. Why don't we just agree on a term of the master or the creator and get over your fucking bullshit? And by the way, the master, the creator, didn't write any of those books you read. Bible, Quran, Turan, Turin. And I doubt any of you have read the Holy Grail, Angels and Demons, Da Vinci Code, aside from books published about them since. Or were you that good at translations? and what byproducts were you taking, what influences were you under, and who was paying for it, and who was an editor, and what got cut from the final script, if we wanted to all tell the truth. This is extinction number 7. There's nothing you can't Google, because I helped pioneer Google. I was there from the beginning when they were starting Gmail with invitation. I've been with Microsoft and IBM stuff since DOS 1. I've been writing code, inventing stuff my entire life since before I even went to work for a broadcast network. I was a mad scientist as a kid who was up inventing things with electronics and wires and radios and chemistry sets and setting off rockets in the backyard, and wasn't your typical country boy. But then, according to my insane sister, and I only call her insane because she's the biggest victim I've ever met, Annie, God, how did you go so wrong? I forgive you for your ignorance, I don't forgive you for your arrogance, and I don't forgive you for your lies. And unless you figure out how to change it immediately, you're damned for eternity. You can bank on it. We may have been brother and sister in flesh, or at least on paper, as you allege that Mom had me made as a CIA project or whatever bullshit you come up with. And you may be right, who knows? I don't care. What I do care about is you're not honest, and you lie a lot, and you steal from people, and you're a cheat, and you're a cunt. But you're in a list of long people that I know that will be going in that same journey. So get to know Melissa English, Jennifer Keatsman, the Neitzel's, the Bakers, the Treadways. Oh, I can go down a long fucking list. Those who are going on to the next dimension, beyond this extinction, not that many. Tragically, not that many. And I've met millions as I've traveled the world. Because those who know me well, it doesn't matter if I'm in a room with 10,000, I'll try and shake as many hands and get as many business cards from as many people in the room as I can. Because to me, every single soul is important until they prove otherwise. I'm a little more selective now after being injured and beaten and abused so much in life that I don't try to shake everybody's hand. I may give them a bump. I may just give them a nod. I'm tired of assholes who want to play who has the strongest hand grip to the point I have to nearly break the wrist to get them to let go of my hand. I'm tired of people who think it's okay to hit me with cars at 35 miles an hour or more when I'm in or out of a vehicle. So I'm flying over hoods or flying hundreds of feet in the air because somebody decides to cut in front of me and cross 3 lanes with witnesses, in a white Volvo. It's been clearly described, and there's video all over the place that the police have access to. Or the people who have done even worse. And the list is long. Whether it was the drugs, your alcoholism, your insanity, your envy, or somebody else's orders, you'll never be forgiven. Because one of you fuckers, and many of you know me personally over the years, has made any attempt to ever make an amends, except I think 2. And of those 2, none ever completed the amends. And I was real clear what the amends had to be. It was more than reasonable with everyone. I have been fair and honest with every person I have met. I have not lied to anyone, including law enforcement, even when it's got my own ass into a jam for telling the truth. I've been put in jails, prisons, institutions, and other things to be studied, to be detained, to be tortured, to be fucked with. Never for my best interest unless I went in voluntarily, like to UCLA for studies or USC or other universities around the world. While there are those who probably think this is a rant, it's not. It's a very clear message to planet Earth. Your time is nearly done if you don't sort this out now. This is Armageddon. You can sit by idly. You'll end up with those in hell. You can feign ignorance, but with today's technology, unless you have special handicaps, there's not a lot of forgiveness for that either. Educate yourself every day. Learn something new every day. Help someone every day. Change your life and help change the world. Stop pointing, hey, that's somebody else's stuff. Why do you pick it up if it's annoying you? And set an example. Try and go an extra mile tomorrow. Do something different tomorrow. Try to remove some of the insanity out of your own life by stop judging everybody and start helping others. I know, it's such a concept to squeeze a nickel out of somebody's ass who has a fortune when they're so busy. Give me a motherfucking break. It hasn't mattered if I've been worth millions or billions or more. Or nothing, because I've been robbed, beaten, and abused so much that day or that week or that month. I still go out of my way to help others, even if it's a shirt off my own back and it's pouring rain. Have you? Have you done anything even close to that? How much have you done to promote world peace and happiness today? To get along with somebody new and strange and different and create new friendships and new bonds, new adventures. The thrill of seeing a broken person cry in your arms and crying with them because you took a moment that no one else would. I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly, the amazing, and beyond. So many times, and yet with each individual soul, I don't mask. I don't judge based on the other thousands or millions like them I've met, already knowing where this is going to go. I still give them every chance and opportunity and tell them the same thing about honesty, Armageddon, and everything else. I'm open, honest, and direct. And anyone who says otherwise, really? Based on what truth can you provide that information? Because I'd sure like to see it. Under things that haven't been falsified, tampered with, altercated, fabricated, or made up to serve someone's other agenda or selfish interest or otherwise. And I beckon you, if you're going to take that stand, if it's not empirical, you'll join all the others I've already talked about. I'm tired of being falsely accused. I've been accused of everything from elderly abuse when I told someone not to invest with Robert McCarthy and the company he was running because it was fraud and everything that was going on through the UN. I found out after I had invested 6 figures of my own money to research and develop this concert for the Amazon with Robin DiMaggio and other crooks. I didn't know were crooks at the time because they had fraudulent documents. And it took me traveling to New York to try and find the organization to find out it was a fucking P.O. box and tracing through the UN and others, and went back and told them not to invest. And I was still sued in LA County for millions of dollars, even though I said don't do it. I made one court appearance and told them if I wasn't withdrawn from the lawsuit, I'd be suing everyone, including guys suing me. For shit tons more because one, it's in my contract that I couldn't be sued because I wasn't the party that ripped him off. I never took a dime of his money. And two, my attorney at the time and my accountant and I and everyone on my company team were telling him bad investment fraud, get out of it, and he still went ahead and did it anyway. when I was in Hawaii with one of my other people in life at the time who also ripped me off. Right, Jen Keatsman? Askards, thieving, conniving, backdoor, treasonous pieces of shit.
Thanks for going Metro. Make sure you attach your card at the fare gauge or validator before each boarding.
I just want to say, this is public notice to the world. It's time to get over yourself. It's time to research for yourself and educate yourself on the real truths. At the end of time, you don't get to stand on, well, that's what they always taught me, or that was the country I was born in and that's the way they always did it, or this was the religion I was taught, or this is the propaganda I was given. Bullshit. You have the ability to educate yourself if you elect to. And if you need special help or assistance from a librarian, an interpreter, a signer, a Braille Institute, then reach out and ask for it. Demand it. Insist on it. Contact me if you're having trouble getting it, and we'll help you find it. Disaster Relief Inc. INC, like your corporation, at gmail.com. I'll help you find it. I'm not going to take you there. I can point you in the right direction. And if there's not a service available, I can direct you to the closest one to you. But you got to take the steps, just like I did. I'm not asking you to even take as many steps as I did, but I am asking you to educate yourself and pull your head out of your ass, because at the end of the time, you don't get to say, well, my country took me down the shitter and I didn't know. No, you have a right to stand up against your religion, your government, against anything that's horse shit in life, your neighbor, and have boundaries, and have integrity, and have truth, and have honesty. You don't have to lie for others. But if you're lying to yourself, oh, I can't get it because I'm too stupid. You've already conditioned yourself that way, or you let others condition you that way. It's time to pull your head out of your ass and stop all the can'ts in life and start doing the do's. As many do's as you can. Stop giving yourself the excuse, well, I'll do that later in life, or I'll do that when I retire, or I'll do that. If you really want to do it, you got less than a year left to do it. You don't rise up and change stuff now. If everything is published on the Doomsday Monument is correct, the best you might get is into 2020. But they say by 2020. And the date I'm seeing in Intel is 9/19/19. How ironic. We did 9/11s to ourselves. We did the Kennedys to ourselves. We even did Desert Storm to ourselves. Isn't it funny, those Scud's missiles that were used against, those dirty bombs that were used against us were decommissioned in 1952 out of St. Louis, Missouri, and somehow they ended up in a foreign country being used against us in Desert Storm. Go figure. It's time we admit that the CIA has funded through the Allied Nations, the backdoor black operation known as ISIS, Israeli Security Intelligence Services, or ISIL, Israeli Security Intelligence League, or the Taliban, or many, many other operations that are designed to keep you in fear, keep you following your religion, your government, or whatever other propaganda we want you to swallow. It's time we got honest in news and held people accountable who aren't. News is supposed to be objective, it's supposed to be honest, it's supposed to be factual. Most news this day is horseshit propaganda, it is twisted jerk-off news, or it's fake news. This isn't fake news. You can do your own goddamn research and figure out everything I've talked about in any of the tapes that I've ever put up is verifiable and 100% correct. And I'm just tipping you on the iceberg. Go finger. More will be revealed. And by the way, Donnie, you're running out of time to resign and, cut your best deal with the special prosecutor. If I were you, I'd be running over and seeing that motherfucker, but I'm not as stupid as you are. But I can tell you one thing, you send another head out after my ass, motherfucker, and shit's gonna happen to you and your family like they can't even predict it, Secret Service. And that's not a threat. You're pushing too many buttons, bastard. And there are people above you who control buttons higher than yours. Maybe you should find a God and not Satan. But, follow whichever fearless leader's going to give you the most, you gluttonous pig. But you will face war crimes between now and the end of time. even if it's at the gates of hell, bitch. You, your entire family, everyone on Capitol Hill, everyone in the Russian, North Korean government, anybody else wants to start a war, to hell with you now. In the short term, Guantanamo Bay or hell up in the Arctic, those would be nice places to put you dumbasses. They have you waterboarded and beaten, find every hidden fun you have. But we can do that with keystrokes right now, today. We could shut you down today. The Born Project alone could shut down the money trusts of the world. And do you know how many people are in the Born Project? And do you know how many I've met with recently who are in the Born Project? And for those you crackheads who think I'm full of shit and don't know anything about what I'm talking about, go figure. Maybe I don't, or maybe I really do. In which case, you all should be thinking about where you're hiding your money, because once we crash the thing, nobody's going to have a wooden nickel to piss with.